I worked with a Jesuit, Father Kevin Kirsten, making documentaries. I did a film on the Boston College campus school that provides education for children with developmental disabilities. Working with Father Kirsten was a pretty extraordinary experience because he forced me to make films in a different way. I grabbed the camera beginning of the semester and started heading down to the campus school, and he said, "Wait just a second, I don't want you taking a camera down there for the entire semester." Father Kirsten asked me to spend 3 months just being in the place as a volunteer, coming to know the students who were there, the faculty, their families, before I even picked up a camera and started trying to make a film about the place. For me, filmmaking is ultimately about giving voice to people. It's a way to allow people to have who they are, who their deepest selves are, expressed in a way that's accessible to a wider audience, in a way that allows people to be changed by their story. We live in a world that's utterly dominated by mass communications, by internet, by television. It's the way that people talk, it's the way that people receive information, and I think we as Jesuits are obliged to be conversant in that language. That's really why I feel called to be a filmmaker.
Sophomore year, I lived with a very, very diverse group of people. There were 3 Muslim, 3 Catholics, 1 Greek Orthodox, and myself, who was Buddhist / agnostic / whatever. So it's a very, very diverse group. And every night we talk about 2 things, God and girls. God usually comes first. And I mean, I've never experienced that kind of conversation before, because you see the same thing in so many different lights, so many different perspectives. For the vast majority of our lives, we have been very sheltered. So how do we really know what's the worst problem in the world? Really by experiencing it, by living it, by going there directly and see in those people's eyes, the people who are suffering, the people who need help, see how they live, see how they fare in this condition. BC every year sent out thousands of students to Appalachian, Louisiana, New Orleans, etc. I mean, this is where you actually experience for the first time the misery that many people live with, that they call really life. To change the world, you really have to go out and live it, live through it, and not just study it in some abstract term or study it in a book with the professors. You have to go out and set the world aflame.
When I see Boston College students, I am very encouraged.
The culture of service, of giving back to others, of a commitment to the betterment of the human condition is greater now at BC than it ever was.
Each year, I'm more and more blown away with how smart the students are, the incredible questions they have, the perspectives they have on the world.
Not just about learning, it's also about who you are as a human being, your spiritual dimension, your social dimension, and all of those things seem to be kept in a great balance at BC.
I have hope. I think the current generation is fantastic. I think that this country is headed down the right path because of them.
I see future leaders who still live by the same ideals that founded the institution. Sparks, as it were.
And when we find that spark, it's that spark that lights our fire.